And we welcome you back once again for final day coverage of the 10th annual Cougar Classic here from beautiful Yeamans Hall in Hanahan, South Carolina, along with the chairman and founder, John Rivers. I'm Jeff McCarriger. Of course, Gretchen will be coming along a little bit later for her Out of Bounds segment. But first things first, wanted to catch up with Mr. Rivers. Congratulations. Great champion, terrific tournament. You also had beautiful weather for the last 3 days.
Well, we certainly did. It's been a great tournament, I think our best ever. And it's really a day of celebration for many reasons. Not only because we have great teams here, but also today is the 11th anniversary of 9/11 event that took place in New York City and Washington, D.C. And the country overcame a lot of adversity and is actually celebrating its resiliency. And we're celebrating our resiliency and the wonderful players and the tribute to all of the people who've made this event happen.
We've had a lot of great highlights. You and I talked about this about 4 or 5 days ago in the preview. 24 teams, 10 of the top 15 teams, the top 5 in the country, and what a great 3 days here.
It has been a great tournament, and it looks like Florida has just walked away with the whole thing. They made it look easy on a very difficult golf course, so congratulations to them on their victory.
It was a day dominated by Florida. Once again, let's take a look at today's highlights. 24 teams gathered from across the nation. 10 of the top 15 teams in the country here in Hanahan, South Carolina. Your leaders coming into today, Camilla Hedberg and Isabel Lendl, both out of Florida. We'll start the day off with the tee shots on one. Here's Camilla Hedberg again out of Florida, a sophomore from Spain, a good tee shot. On her approach, she'd leave herself just about 6 feet away, so an easy par putt. And Camilla was off to a big day here for the Cougar Classic. Also on the first tee, Isabel Lendl, her teammate, a senior from Goshen, Connecticut. She would start with a par, but Lendl unfortunately would struggle for the afternoon. She finishes plus 375, 4 under for the tournament. We move ahead. Lindy Duncan for Duke, a senior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Her approach on 5 and a beautiful shot. She's going to leave that just about 12 feet from the cup. So Duncan now with a birdie attempt, and the long birdie is good. Lindy Duncan would end up having a big day today for Duke. We'll have more on her coming up here in just a minute. First, to the third hole, par 3, which was a big day for a lot of teams and especially a lot of individuals. Here's Lauren Stratton out of Vanderbilt from Spring Hill, Tennessee. Her tee shot, she leaves it within 6 feet. She'll have a nice birdie attempt coming up and makes the birdie. She finishes minus 270 on the day, 5 under for the tournament, tied for third. So a good tournament for Lauren Stratton out of Vanderbilt. Next up, Erica Popson out of Tennessee, a senior from Davenport, Florida. Her tee shot. And another good tee shot. Everyone taking advantage of this par 3 all day long. And a good birdie attempt for her as she would complete it. She finishes 2 under 68 and minus 5 for the tournament. Finishes third place. Good birdie for Erica Popson. Here's Sophia Popov for Southern California, the junior from Germany. She had a good and bad day. First off, the good. Her tee shot on 3, again, as many did, takes advantage of it. She's going to leave it a little bit short, so a longer putt than what we saw from many. This a putt from over 30 feet away, but still going to have the same result as we saw a lot of the other girls. A birdie for Sophia Popov, so that was the good. But the bad comes up later on 13. Her tee shot goes in the sand, and after blasting it out of the sand a couple of times, this now for bogey, just to try and save the bogey, and just misses it. She'd come back the other way for a double bogey. She started the day tied for third, finishes with a plus 476 on the day, and tied for 12th overall in the tournament. Now back to Lindy Duncan out of Duke. This is going to be her second shot on the par 5 15th. Again, her second shot, and misses off to the right side, but still she's going to have an eagle attempt coming up here from just inside the fringe. So the eagle attempt on 15. Duncan charging all afternoon and just misses the eagle attempt. She would make the birdie. Later on in the day on 17, Duncan with her approach shot on the par 4 hole, and this is going to be a great shot for her. One of several shots in the day as she really made a charge to the leaders. And leaves herself again with another birdie attempt, and this time on the birdie, again, just misses off to the left side, but she'll still get her par. She finishes 4 under 68 for the day, 4 shots back of the winner of this tournament overall. And we'll go back to, that's right, Camilla Hedberg out of Florida on the 18th. Her approach, as she walks up, she can feel it by this point, and take a look at this approach shot on 18. No let up in the sophomore, looking for her first tournament win as a collegiate for the Florida Gators, and sticks it to within about 7 feet. And here's your birdie to lock up the win, Camilla Hedberg. Congratulations, the winner of the 2012 Cougar Classic at Yeamans Hall.
I didn't start that good. I had a bogey on like number 3, I think. On the first holes, I already had a bogey, which was a pretty stupid bogey. I had like 3 putts. I missed a short one. But then I hit some good shots after that. I birdied 6 again, my hole. I birdied every day that. And then I birdied 10 and 11 and 16 and 18. So I didn't start that well, but then I finished strong.
And we saw you also had a great par save. I think it was on 13 out of the sand.
Yes, on that par 3, I hit a terrible shot from the tee, but then a great shot from the bunker, and I saved that hole. It was very good.
So what does it feel like to get your first tournament championship?
It feels awesome. I'm very happy.
I think we just talked early in the week about staying patient and sticking to our game plan, playing our games no matter what happens. And I think that really helped us because today the wind blew a little more, the golf course played a little different, but I saw the girls stay patient and play within themselves, which is exactly what I asked them to do at the beginning of the week, so I was very pleased.
And when you combine the victory by Camilla Hedberg, the sophomore, with Isabel Lendl, the senior, in her 2 first solid rounds for Florida, that brings us to our final team standings. And there you see it. Congratulations to the University of Florida, your overall champions of the 2012 Cougar Classic, as Florida finishes with a -12 as a team, just dominating the tournament. Second behind them was Duke at -6, Southern California at -1, followed by Vanderbilt, Georgia, and Auburn. Back to the individual standings page where we take a look at Camilla Hedberg. Not only did she finish with a -13 and was the overall champion, but also ties a course record for lowest score over a 3-day tournament. Lindy Duncan finishes right behind her at -9. Erica Popson at -5, tied with Laura Stratton. And then Isabel Lendl fell off a little bit on the final day, still finishes in 5th place at -4. Meanwhile, for the College of Charleston, the senior Vanessa Coakley with the low score on the team as she finishes the tournament +6. Behind her, Kathy Boehm, Julia Newman, and Stacy Tomlinson all tied for +13, followed by Morgan Weber at +15. Obviously, a little bit of a disappointing day for the Cougars as a team they dropped from tied for 17th to tied for 19th. Got a chance to catch up with the senior and also head coach Jamie Futrell.
It was just a little different condition-wise. It was a lot windier out there today, so it's harder to hit it close. The pins were tough to your Tuesday's pins, I guess. But just didn't make as many putts today, so you just kind of got to roll with it sometimes and, you know, keep your head up and just keep going to the next week. So.
Yeah, and this could be the stiffest competition in the country this year. So, you know, you have to take it with a grain of salt. And we did a lot of great things this week. Wish today we would have been a little better, but you know, we're still early in the season. We're still young. We've only had these freshmen 2 weeks, so we'll be fine.
And good to catch up with Vanessa Coakley and also Jamie Futrell, the head coach for the College of Charleston. Now, time for a much anticipated and very popular segment, Out of Bounds. Of course, all weekend we've been following some of the lighter side and some of the lighter moments here out at Yeamans Hall. So once again, time for our final Out of Bounds segment with Gretchen Zeller.
Conscience.
C-O-N-S.
Oh, we got a cheater. We got a cheater. Conscience.
C-O-N-C.
I'm so sorry. Conscience.
C-O-N-S-C. I-O.
Oh. Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
What? What did you just say?
Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know. I don't know what you're saying.
Okay. Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
What?
That's the dog. Grant.
Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
That's the
Grant's tomb. Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
Grant's tomb.
Grant is buried in Grant's.
Grant?
Oh my gosh, Tennessee redeemed themselves.
As we wrap things up here for the 10th annual Cougar Classic from Yeamans Hall, again, a terrific 3 days of the tournament as we wrap up our final round coverage. Always good to see Gretchen again going out of bounds. That was a great segment over the last 3 days. And John, as we wrap things up, a lot of people to thank over the last 3 days, a lot of people behind the scenes that work hard to put this thing together.
Thank you, Jeff. As a matter of fact, you're one of them, and Gretchen, but we've got over 100 volunteers who help put this thing on. We also have the blessing of the membership at Yeamans Hall and the Green Committee, which coaches Russ Schull and Backman Smith, and of course the staff of Brian Boss that is leading the household staff with Ian and Jeff and Laurie and all of those folks, and Claude Bruce and his team Claude is the director of golf, Doug Dunnan, who is the president of the club. But it's really, takes a village, and we couldn't be more pleased and happier with the support that we've gotten to put on what a lot of people think is the finest women's college golf tournament in the country. But we couldn't do it single-handedly, and with everybody pulling together, it's amazing what we can pull off.
Well, congratulations once again on a beautiful tournament. It was a great 3 days. Thanks so much for watching. And once again, congratulations to the University of Florida, the champions of the 10th Annual Cougar Classic out here at Yeamans Hall.